Earlier this year, I was brought on by a friend to work on a project. My friend was reached out by a brand to create evergreen images. Evergreen images are the kind of image that has a sort of relevancy that's retained within them. That way they can be shared throughout the entire year. Now, my role in this production was twofold. I was first of all the classic production assistant, where I was assisting all the needs of both the crew and the talent. And the second role was called the technical support. Now, technical support might fall in line with risk management for those that are more, let's say, acquainted with the term. But I'll go ahead and explore what that means in this video. And before I go into that, I do want to say that this video is set up in a way where I'm going to be narrating over the footage that I was able to acquire as behind the scenes. And that narration is going to be some internal insights, some thoughts that I wanted to share of my role and of what's going on in front of me. And I also wanted it to provide a sense of commentary so that people could better understand what it's like on a set that's out in the wild, out in nature, out in a high-risk environment. That involves, of course, high-risk sports such as rock climbing and running. And lastly, if you find this video to be interesting, striking you in a way that makes you better understand production, or maybe you're even more curious to learn more about what's going on, feel free to drop a comment down below. I'd love to interact, and I'd love to create a space where we can talk about creating together. So without further ado, please enjoy the video. Scouting is an integral part about production because it allows for the creatives to think about where it is they are going to shoot, and once they're on location, that allows them to figure out what it is exactly they're going to shoot, where they're going to position the talent. They start thinking about where the light is going to hit best, or they start thinking about certain composition elements like foreground, midground, and then the background. And then, of course, trying to figure out how all of that can come to better in the most beautiful and storytelling way. Out in the wild. Production day. We got John and Torey, the photographers. Here we have Torey. Torey is setting up a fixed line so that way he'll be able to stay anchored at the top of the route to get some really cool top-down photos of the talent as they come up to the summit of their climb. Now they're at the crag and they are pretty much getting set up to start climbing. Here, John, you could see him playing with the rope, trying to create frames to make an interesting image with the rope. Now we have our talent coming off of their first run, which was kind of a funny story. They were initially thinking that they were on, I think, a 5.8, maybe a 5.9, but turns out they were actually on a 10C. So it's always important to scout, and of course at times, even though you do your best when it comes to pre-production, there's some sort of variable that isn't accounted for entirely. I gotta say, they really are climbers because they were really trying hard to push past the crux. As technical support, I saw my role in two parts. One as risk management and the other as mental health assessment. On one hand, I was to do the practical sort of risk management in that I was making sure they were belaying properly and had their gear all in order and they were safe. On the other hand, I wanted to make sure that the talent was also making sure they weren't pushing themselves. In an environment or in a production like this one, they're asked to redo, do, and redo everything over and over again. That is the nature of getting the right image. And I always checked in with them by saying, are you good? Are you sure you want to do this? You don't have to push yourself. So that way they felt like they had the agency to make their own decisions while on the shoot and not feel the pressure of being able to perform.
We're at Kissimmee River Gorge!
That's
SG.
right.
CRG.
Shooting, climbing.
That too.
Torey over there. John right here. We're out in the wild.
Oh, we're so good at this. Full U-turn. I do an illegal.
Jonathan told me about your seat pack. I had the same one.
Yeah, I was like,
And I was like, you know.
This part of the shoot was interesting for me because, of course, I was out of my element in terms of the sport that I was being involved in. It was really great seeing John and Torey interact with the talent in a way that not only directed them in terms of like a sense of what they were meant to do, but also showing them the results of what's going on in their heads.
it's like enjoying the view. It's like a scenic ride.
Nice. Yeah, that was really good. That was really good.
Overall, I think the shoot went well, the production went well. Everyone brought good vibes, everyone brought their A game, both the crew and the talent. And I gotta say, I think it all was pretty easy simply because everyone had some sort of like common interest. The two climbers were actually good friends, partners that met originally in their local home gym. And then the three runners, they were all connected in some way within the coffee industry, going from barista to some kind of management position like head roaster and whatnot. And with Torey and John, they've been friends for a while now, working on a lot of projects together, and I'm just happy to have been a part of this project, and this experience is one that I definitely won't forget.